Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm excited to talk about the latest Kayali fragrances. Very, very hyped up here on YouTube. So I want to share with you my thoughts on the Wedding Velvet Santal 35 and Silk Santal 36. So these were inspired by Mona and Hassan's wedding. They came out with it kind of on their anniversary, which I thought was really, really neat. So I want to share my thoughts about both of them, whether I think that they're worth the hype, which one I like best, all of that good stuff. But before I get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that button. Join the Weird and Wonderful family. It would be amazing to have you part of the community. And without further ado, let's get into this. So I'm going to do ladies first. We're going to start with Silk Santal 36. Now, the idea of these is that one is for him, one is for her. So I love that idea for a wedding. I just think it's such a cool idea. In fact, if I were to get married again, I think it would be so cool to get a special blend made for myself and my husband that work well together. And that's the whole idea behind this. I just think it's genius. So two fragrances that work separate on their own, they come together and they work like magic as well. So the first one is Silk Santal. This is the feminine version or more feminine. Personally, I find both of these unisex. This one is more feminine leaning, whereas the Velvet Santal to me is perfectly unisex. So this one, I love it. I'm gonna just start with that. I just think it's so beautiful. I find it to be very sparkly. There's a peach note in there, which comes across as very sweet and fruity and mouth-watering. It's got a mouth-watering quality for sure. There's things in this that are reminiscent to me of Deja Vu White Flower. It's got kind of that signature Kayali musk in it. But I just think that this is an absolutely beautiful fragrance. I love the sweetness in it. So to me, it's just a beautiful, fruity, sparkling, sweet fragrance that I personally love, love, love. This is right up there with one of my favorite DNAs. So I like the floral component with the fruitiness, with the sweetness, and with that little bit of champagne pop. It is so yummy. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. What I love about both of these fragrances is the longevity is really excellent. So it projects for about 5 hours, but I put it on at 7 o'clock at night, and in the morning, so I think it was 7 in the morning, I could still smell both of them on my skin. So they definitely stay as a skin scent for a long time, but you get moderate projection and sillage. So I would say, I consider moderate to be about 5 hours. So 5-6 hours of decent projection, in my opinion. So I just think it's such a beautiful fragrance. It's very feminine. It's light. It's airy. This is, to me, a perfect signature fragrance. Honestly, you could wear this all year round for many different types of occasions. It would work to me for everyday wear. For me, what really stands out in this one is that peachy nectarine vibe paired with the praline. Love the praline in this. Love the champagne kind of sparkling quality that you get in this. I also just love the fact that it's quite sugary and sweet. So this is very celebratory, effervescent, joyous. It would be perfect as a signature fragrance, in my opinion. It's a very beautiful, vivacious, but not overpowering fragrance. Really, really impressed with this one. Now, the Wedding Velvet Santal, it's a lot less sweet. So I consider this more unisex. I don't think it leans masculine. I think it's perfectly unisex, but I can see a lot of guys gravitating towards this, and some women finding this maybe a little too masculine. This one has a beautiful tea note in it. There's some jasmine. It's way less sweet. I wouldn't consider this sweet at all. It does give me that kind of refreshing, relaxing, spa-like feeling, with the sandalwood or the Santal aspect being more center stage with this one, which makes sense because it's a lot more sensual. And I find sandalwood to be slightly green and smooth. So I get that in this fragrance. So there is that little hint of green paired with the tea and the jasmine. It's quite sensual. It's a lot more alluring. It's a lot more, to me, black tie than the other one. The other one feels a lot more effervescent and celebratory. So really enjoyed this one as well. Love the way it dries down. I definitely love that sandalwood component coming through. It's not overpowering. It's very, very smooth to me. So I like the name. It smells sensual. It smells luxurious. It smells serious. Silk Santal to me projects a little bit more, whereas this one I think sits a little closer to the skin. It still projects, sits closer to the skin. The thing that I think is like kind of cool about these two fragrances, and like I've watched little bits and pieces on Instagram of Mona and Hassan talking about these fragrances. And the little bit that I've seen of them and just what I've seen of Mona in the past, I think that these really, really suit their personalities. So first of all, love the fact that the base of this, like just from a philosophical perspective, love that the base is the same. So for me, when I think about a couple getting married, having similar values, like you can have different personalities, but your values need to be in line with each other. And so I love the fact that the primary value in this fragrance is the same. It's both sandalwood. So then you have your different personalities that come out in these ones. So this is a little bit more soft, a little bit more sensual. This one's a little bit more effervescent, sweet, bubbly. And I think that these nailed their personalities. So when I see Mona, she comes across as a very creative, very full of life and jubilant, very, very sparkling in her personality. Like she's very charismatic in her personality, the way that she carries herself. But along with that can come needing some groundedness. And so that's where this one comes in, where I feel like Hassan is a lot more soft-spoken. He comes across to me as the one that's more grounded, that brings that calming effect. And you need both in a relationship. Like a lot of times you have, you know, your sparkling creative, and then you have your one that's grounded and that kind of holds things together. And so that's how I view them as a couple, not that I have any idea. And that's how I feel these fragrances go together. Now, mixed together, they're absolutely gorgeous. So I love the combination of the two. I love the seductive, kind of sensual aspect of this, the fact that it's a little bit more grounded, the fact that it's got a little bit more of a bassy feel. It's a little bit smooth. It's a little bit more smooth. I love this working kind of as that top and that mid, and this just bringing a little bit more groundedness to the whole composition. So I just think it's a genius idea, like a genius idea. I love it. I love the concept. I love the two fragrances. My choice, if I was picking one, would be this one. I do think that they blend together perfectly. If you don't like sweet fragrances, go with this one. Longevity and everything, no problems with that at all. Love, love, love the concept behind this. Love the fact that they celebrated themselves in this way. I just think it's fantastic. So I think that they're worth the hype. You know, I am kind of hard on Kayali because I do think that they're hyped up a lot. Well-deserved hype, honestly. Like they do a fantastic job of marketing. But I just love this concept. I love the pairing. This is definitely my favorite. If I were to choose between the two, I personally would choose this one. If you like the sweeter, go with this. If you like a spa-like kind of unisex vibe that's less sweet, this is really, really beautiful. So you can't go wrong with either. Paired together, they make a beautiful composition. I don't think it's necessary, but it is fun. So those are my thoughts. Congratulations to both Mona and Hassan. Job well done, fantastic. And I just think it's a freaking genius idea to celebrate your 1-year anniversary or however they did it. by releasing these. I just think it's so cool. Love it. Love the concept. Love the fragrances. Definitely worth the hype. Very, very impressed. And that is it. What about you? Have you chose them? This one is absolutely different than any of the other fragrances. This one has similarities. You know, like I can smell kind of that deja vu white flower. I can smell a little hint of the musk. So you get the Kayali DNA in this one more so. That said, I think that this is its own thing. I think it's beautifully feminine, and I'm absolutely in love with it. So those are my thoughts. What about you? Have you tried them? If so, feel free to weigh in. It really helps making decisions when we get all sorts of different opinions. So please weigh in with your thoughts. And other than that, I hope you have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you soon.